Red eye in photos occurs when the flash from the camera fires directly into the eyes of the people that you're taking the picture of. For example, I have one of these cameras here. It's a Canon S95. It's a fantastic camera that I can drop in my pocket. It takes high resolution raw images. I really like it. Had it for, I don't know, ever since it came out maybe 8 years ago. But it has this flash on top, and so there really just isn't much I can do about it as far as eliminating red eye in photographs when I use the flash, especially close up. Now, some point and shoot cameras will fire the flash 2-3 times before taking the image, and that is to get the pupils of the subjects to close a little bit, which reduces the red eye but doesn't necessarily eliminate it. So let's just go ahead and fix this particular photograph. I'm going to start by zooming in. It'll come out. There we go. And I have the ellipse tool selected, so I can draw an ellipse around like this. If I want it to be perfectly circular, just hold down the shift key. It doesn't matter which way you pull, it's going to stay circular. So we don't need to get just the red part, but we want to help GIMP as much as we can. Now I can hold down the shift key to add another selection, or I can click this little box over here in the tool options. And that way, when I hold down the shift key, get a nice circle. There we go. That's pretty good. And that's actually the hardest part of this, because now we just go up into filters, and filters are a whole bunch of special effects or scripts that are written into the program. We go to enhance, red eye removal, and we go to a little pop-up, and it's sort of hard to tell. There isn't really any way to make the pop-up bigger. We can zoom in here and get an idea of what it's going to look like. We can push the threshold up, but you don't want to push it up too far or else it's going to make the eye black. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And it needs just a little bit more. So now I'll just go up into filters and re-show red eye removal. Just brings it right back up, leaves me where I left off before. Bump it up a little bit more, click OK. Let's come up to the select none. That looks pretty good from there, so let's zoom back out to 100%, and that is a huge difference. We can go back and revert to bring the image back the way it was originally. And you can really see the difference there, can't you? So now I'm going to show you a different way to do it. Not that using the filters isn't a great way, but I want to introduce you to the dodge and burn tools. The dodge and burn tool works just like a paintbrush that either darkens or highlights part of an image. So right now we're dodging, and then I can switch it down here in the tool properties to burn, or I can just hold down the control key. I think you can see the changes there. So that's what we're going to use for the red eye, with a little bit of a twist. So again, I'm going to zoom in on the eyes here, and I'm going to use the ellipse tool to sort of act like masking tape, so that when I'm doing my dodging, it only applies to that part of the image. Now, if I just come in and start to use the burn tool, like this, not too much happens. And by the way, you notice how the selection marching ants disappear temporarily? That's just the way the program works, nothing to be concerned about. Now up here in the top right corner, I'm going to go to the Channels dialog box, and I'm going to click on green and blue to turn them off, so that now when I'm doing my burning here, it only applies to the red channel. And each time I let go of the mouse button, it like puts on another coat of paint, if you will, if you want to think of it that way. I think that's probably enough for that one. So I'm going to just do this, hit it again, press down the mouse button again. Just kind of keep going over it here until the red's gone. Come under Select, choose None. I'm going to turn these channels back on. It only affects what we're doing with the tools. Go back to 100%. And it's just another way to do the same thing, this time with the dodge and the burn tool. By the way, the textbook mentions using the clone stamp tool, and we're going to use plenty of that later on. But I don't think that's the best application for this, because you have to have a photograph of an eyeball without red eye to be able to clone it over onto one that does, and that's typically not something that you're going to have. So we'll just skip that part for now and cover those tools later on.